tonight, I want to tell you something that I really believe will be helpful for you in these next coming seasons of your life. The reason I say seasons because God moves in seasons. You don't always just move in days. Like one day is not so much what's really happening in your life. One day in your life could just be a bad choice. And maybe because of a bad choice, bad things could be happening. But it's not so much you can declare that a season. Season is when things are coming in repetition. And a lot of times it seems like one day it let up and the next day it's back on you again. But season lasts for a while. But in those seasons, those are times that God is getting to producing, developing us for something different. And then sometimes there's seasons of rest. And sometimes there's seasons of preparation or cleansing. Different seasons of our lives we go through where God get quiet. You ever been talking to God, he wouldn't say nothing? And you couldn't make him talk to you? He was listening, but he was developing you so you could trust him, even when I can't hear him. And then sometimes God is trying to get you to utilize what he's already taught you. And then sometimes God is trying to get you to do what he's already told you. And sometimes in certain seasons, people say, well, I ought to be doing so-and-so. But if God is not saying anything, don't do nothing. The most dangerous thing to do is do something and don't know what you're doing. Because in those times is when Satan is at his most agitated times. You have to watch him because he looks for those things that we look for, what we call places where we could get some type of break from the storms of life. And so Satan will offer you those breaks and give you things to say, well, it must be God. And God said, no, that ain't me. I'm not in that. Now, you might have got that, but you can't say I gave you that. Because this season of your life, I'm not giving you anything. What I'm doing now in this season of your life, I'm preparing you for something greater. And sometimes we'll settle for less because it look good. But when God is getting ready to do something in your life, please pray before you make any decision. Evan reminded me of something when I was some years back, and I don't know how long it was. He was telling me about it. I don't remember. I was preaching one Sunday, and he said him and his wife was packing up, getting ready to leave town. And he said that Sunday I looked at him and said, I don't know where it's coming from, but don't y'all move. But I didn't have a clue I was speaking into their lives. And little as I knew, they was packing to leave. And they said, I thank God that you spoke that word over my life. Because when I sit in my backyard now, because it hadn't been, I wouldn't be here. We have to be very sensitive in the season that we're in to make sure that we're hearing the voice of God. Because the voice of men could be very interesting, but sometimes they sound like God too. But when things are troubling in your head, it ain't in your heart yet. So when God speaks in your heart, you don't trouble with it too much. Because there's something there that keeps moving you even when you want to lay down at night. Joshua chapter 1, and as we approach this text, I thought it was a very interesting teaching for the night. Joshua 1, I may have to read it from the Bible itself because I got too many notes here, and it's so scattered out, I might not never get to the part I want to get to. So I'm going to have to do it this way. Y'all bear with me a little bit. And I told somebody today as I get older, I need more discipline than I ever had before. What I mean about that, the older I get, the more I have to discipline myself when it comes to certain things about the church. Because I'm getting older now. And my time with you all is getting to be limited of what I'll be able to do or say to you. And so I have to discipline myself to be careful when I see things, because sometimes they get in me. And once they get in me, a father normally don't hold a lot of restraint back when he see things he don't like. And don't want to do that either anymore. Amen? So Joshua 1, as we open this up, it said, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Joshua 1:1. And Moses, my servant, is dead. And therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto a land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. You see, every place, somebody say every place, that the sole of your foot shall tread upon. Your foot shall tread upon. That means we must be taking steps. So if you're standing in one place, you got feet. So that means every time you move just the direction, you put your foot out. So if you're not moving, you're on your feet. But for your foot, that means you're moving. You got what I just said? And the reason why many people are not seeing any difference, because it's feet now rather than foot. And sometimes when you're in your feet, you got to realize you might be standing in the same place. But when you decide to move one of them, now it's a foot. Tell somebody I need a foot blessing. I got feet blessings, but I need some foot blessings. I mean, I got to move. Somebody said, I didn't see that, Pastor. Every foot you tread upon that I've given unto you, as I said unto Moses, from the wilderness to this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and the great sea towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with thee, Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage. For unto this people shalt thou divide for inheritance the land which I swore unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, that thou may prosper whitherso thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have success, good success. Then he said, have not I commanded thee to be strong and of a good courage? Be not afraid, neither be dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee. He's with thee wherever so thou put your foot. A few minutes. I want to talk tonight on being strong. Amen. Now, the most puzzling part of this to me, and as a Bible student, not a scholar, I was sort of puzzled by the statement that God was making to Joshua. Because you really have to be strong to listen to what God is saying to Moses, Mr. Joshua. Because the first thing he's telling him is, Moses is dead. He gone. It troubled me because it seems at times God is insensitive to certain things. You say, well, what do you mean, Pastor? I want you to look at this. Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, bury him, have a funeral. Put him in the ground, mourn over him. Know what your Bible say? Well, who died and somebody tell you to leave? You'll get it tomorrow. They sleep over here. What y'all woke? Go ahead. Who dies that been with you 40 years and the only thing you hear is get up and leave? Yeah. After 40 years leading these people, God come to Joshua and said, the one that's been leading you is dead. Now, we don't have time to mourn. We don't have time to grieve. We don't have time to think on it. I got to move. Just maybe we've been grieving too long. Come on here. Just maybe there's some things that's holding you in place because there's some people that's been dead, but they're still controlling you in that place. Come on. So God telling Moses is dead. Now I know me, I'll probably be wondering what happened to Moses. History said God killed him. History said that God buried him. There's no record of who buried Moses. That's right. The only thing you sort of see about Moses is that they fought over his body. But nobody said what happened to Moses but God. And only tell Joshua that Moses dead. 40 years being with the children of Israel. And now they hear such a horrible testimony. The man that we've been following out here all of these years is dead. He said, now, Joshua, your leader is dead. Now, Joshua heard a lot that day because he just sitting here, Moses was dead, because he was contemplating what was happening, what happened to him. And I know how God speaks because I've been with him long enough to know. And then he says that the Lord spoke unto Joshua, the son of Nun, minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise. It's time to get up. Go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto a land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Also go over this Jordan. See, that's why I say I got a lot of notes here, son. Put something you ain't got no business. Rise and go over the Jordan. Moses, okay. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon that I've given to you, as I said unto Moses. Yeah. Now, even though Moses is there, but he's bringing Joshua into remembrance. Your strength is going to come from, Come on. From remembering. It's going to be some things that you must remember. You're no stronger than what you remember. And sometimes you're just as weak because of what you remember. So you need to know what you need to remember and what you need to forget. I heard a preacher say this one day. He said, I found there was a preacher, I was watching some television, and they was talking. He said, don't worry about what you tell me because I got a very short memory. There's some things in life you need to have a short memory over. But there's some things in life you need to keep as a lifetime. He said, now Joshua, Moses dead, but what you're going to need is what I said to Moses. Because there's going to be some things you're going to be faced with, and the only thing you're going to have to work with is what I said to Moses. Because the only thing I'm telling you is take these people. Now, whatever I said to Moses, you need to remember that, because that's what's going to bring stability in your life. If we're going to be strong and powerful and stable in our walk with God, we're going to have to start to remember some things that God has spoken to us through other people. That's right. That's right. We can start to decide that we don't want to remember what people told us, and we can get independent of those voices, but you might be selling yourself short. Because if it wasn't important, why did he tell him, Moses dead, but as I said to Moses. All right. I was in the house today. God said that the agenda is bigger than the agenda. You'll get it tomorrow. Sometimes we get focused on the agenda and forget about the agenda. Or else we'll look at the agenda and can't deal with the agenda. Because the agenda may not be dressed right. Come on. The agenda might not look right. But the agenda is the same. In other words, they may not look like the person you think should be in charge. All right. When God decides on things, he don't have a meeting. He didn't have a meeting with Joshua about Moses. He didn't have a meeting with the elders about Moses. He didn't decide who was going to be in charge based on everybody else. When he came into the situation, he picked the one he wanted. And when he picked the one he wanted, he said, all I need you to do is take these people. That's right. I don't need you questioning me either. All right. But what I need you to remember is what I said to Moses. Well, if you're not listening to what leaders are saying, how can you remember what he said to them? All right. Come on. Number one, he noticed that he had to remember, as I said unto Moses. So your life stability with God is based on what he said. So if you're going to have stability with God, you got to base it on what God said, not what your experience said. All right. A lot of us are trying to stand in this next move of God based on our last experience with God. Okay. But the question is, what has he said about the next move? Yeah. Your experience was for the last thing you went through. All right. Come on, talk to me. All right. I said your experience was to take you through what you've been through. But what's going to take you where you're going is not your experience. I ain't got no claps, but I brought it with me tonight. You need a word for your next move. Because if there's no word, your experience may be on a lower level than where you're moving. So now we see that stability is based on a word. Your life stability. And he said, from this wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto this great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and the great sea towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. Okay? There shall not be, watch this now, there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. Listen what he tells them. He said, there shall not be any man able to stand before you all the days of your life. Based on what? As I was with Moses. See, when you have no references. Come on. I said, when you have no references, sometimes you don't have nothing to go on. He didn't tell him he's going to make it because he was just speaking a word. He said, but if you could remember and observe. If you observe, when I was with Moses, people couldn't stand against him. That's right. He said, Joshua, your strength is going to come from when you remember how I stood with Moses. Come on. When I stood with Moses, it didn't matter who fought against them, they couldn't win. All right. He said, when Korah rose up against him, what did I do, Joshua? You opened up the ground, God. Yeah. When the Red Sea was in the way, what did I do? He said, you opened it up, God. When the people was hungry, what did I do? He said, I brought quails. I sent manna from heaven, God. He had something to observe. And as we begin to look at the lives of those that God had brought before you, you start building a stability within you about a God that you're being introduced to. Because the God you read about is not the one that you know about. All right. Because, see, reading about him is one thing. Being with him is another thing. Yes, it is. See, Joshua, he was telling Joshua, as I was with Moses. In other words, as you saw me work with Moses, that's going to be one part of your strength. As I talk to Moses, going to be another part of your strength. So we need those two things in our lives to be stable. We need to be able to look and remember how God dealt with others before us. How he used others to do great things before us. Because where you're going now, you're going to need all of that. I told a friend of mine the other day, he had called me, and I said, you know, don't you ever get down on yourself. He said, what do you mean? I said, I've been in ministry 30 some years, and my feet hadn't touched the ground yet. And he didn't understand what I was saying. I said, I didn't have to walk on the ground when I had your shoulders to lean on. Come on. Because when I started ministering, I started on their shoulders. Yeah. And I was able to launch a ministry based upon their references of God. Because the little I knew about him, I just read about him. All right. But they didn't just read about him. They had saw God do great things. So he's telling Joshua, you remember the great things I did with God. Those are the things that's going to build straight and strong stability inside of you. You're going to need that on your journey with God. When things get tough, sometimes I revert back to when things with my mom and when she had cancer and God healed her. And when I was going through some sickness, I remember how God was with my mama. And much as I knew the word, the Greek and the Hebrew and the Latin, it wasn't working. I quoted it, but it didn't help me, Linda. But when I could just look back on my mama life and remember when God healed her, then I know he could heal then. I know what the word said, but I had no connection to that. Because I had never been sick long enough to know nothing about no healer. See, Rapha was to somebody that was sick and God healed them. Abraham says he's Jehovah Jireh because he was finna kill his son and God stepped in and provided. See, just because we read it don't mean we know him. See, just because we get it right don't mean we know God. It's just because we got good minds and we are able to articulate don't mean that I have that relationship with him. And he said, Joshua, you don't have the relationship yet. But the one that had it, keep your eye on him. He had one with me. He saw the burning bush. He walked with me. He knew me. Not just knew of me, but he asked me who I was. And I told him I was the I am that I am. I sent him to Pharaoh. And I told him to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And I seen the miracles that God you done with Moses. He said, now Joshua, a part of your strength is not coming from your ability to read it. He said, for you to move from this point, it's going to take what you remember about Moses. Now watch this. The further you get away from it, you'll learn something. But as long as you're with it, quit fighting it. See, sometimes we with people and we're so busy trying to see ourselves, we missing who we ought to be looking at. That's right. Because when you distance yourself, God will teach you more about him. But if he put you in the midst of somebody, look, remember and observe. Look at things and say, I remember that. I'm going to put that in my notes. I'm observe, I'm write it down. Because right now, I'm moving through a dimension I know nothing about. I'm dealing with stuff on a level I never dealt with. It's like pastoring and you ain't never pastored. You got all of the right stuff wrote in your tablets. You got all of the leadership principles, but you never pastored. But you have nobody to look at. So guess what's finna happen to you? You finna fail with all of your notes. Because your notes ain't gonna bring you through when you have nothing to go on but notes. That's right. That's right. Gotta have some references that this stuff work. How many of y'all know this stuff work? It don't work in the morning. It work every day. But sometimes the only reason it's working because somebody else worked it. And they worked it before I got a hold to it. And when I got a hold to it, it didn't work because I really believed it. It worked because I believed what it did in him. God is sovereign, but he's smarter than all of us. He knows what you need. Because humility has to be in the forefront of your heart. Because without it, you'll never be able to make it. That's why he tells Joshua, well, Moses dead. He says he's dead, Joshua. Joshua, what you mean he's dead? That means your leader is dead. Now my question is have you been looking and listening? Because if you fail, it won't be my fault. You will fail because you wasn't listening to Moses and you wasn't watching him. Don't sit in a place and stop observing. Because you're caught up in distractions. Listening to things you shouldn't be listening to. Dealing with people that don't even know nothing about God. But they jump out and they just started and they give you these little feelings that it's going to be all right. But you better talk to somebody and tell you it's going to be some days that it might last a long time before you see some daylight. It don't always be daylight. Weeping may endure for a night, but we don't know how long that night lasts. We don't know how long it may last. But joy will come. But while you're waiting, do you have somebody that's been through the storms of life that can look at you and say, I know it's hard right there. I know you feel like you ain't going to make it right there. But let me help you right now. I've been there and done that. I saw some rough days in my life. I saw when they all left me. But God didn't abandon me. You need that on this journey. Because if you don't have it, what's going to happen? When the tricks and the gimmicks don't work, what's going to happen? When all of the little cliches don't work. Because he's bigger than that. God explained himself to Joshua pretty good. Now, I want you to keep with me because there's a lot here and I ain't going to stay all night with it. It says, as I was with Moses. Now, watch what he says, as I was with Moses. So will I be with you. See, when you all distracted with people, you don't know how God's going to be with you. So you need to try to watch how God being with people. That's your confidence right there. He said, Joshua, your strength is right here. If you don't know how it's with Moses, you ain't going to have no strength. You don't have no strength if you don't know how it's with him. God talking to Joshua. He's telling Joshua, this is where your strength going to come from. He's going to look at how it was with Moses. I want you to just depend on that. If you have anybody in your life that been walking with God long enough, that if you talk to them, they can help you through some stuff. I say you have anybody in your life besides you and the few little people that started with you. I look back over my life, I realized I didn't make it here because I read well. I made it here because I remember well. I observed well. See, I watched things that other people thought I shouldn't be looking at. There should not be any man be able to stand against all his life. For so I was with thee. So your life stability is based on what you have observed about God in others. What have you observed about God in others? Or else you're taking your eyes off others because you think you need to look at you. You ain't been with him long enough to look in the mirror at yourself. Let me help you. You haven't. I don't care how you think. You're only thinking on the level you own. But when you have to do this, I'm telling you, it's different. Then he said, I will not fail thee. How can he believe that? How can he believe that, Linda? Listen what he said. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. How can he believe that? Come on, talk to me up in here. How can he believe it? Because he observed he didn't fail with Moses.
That's right.
He didn't forsake Moses either. So you're trying to go with God, but you have nobody to look at that he worked with.
Yeah.
You better sit down and talk to somebody that'll walk with God long before you started.
Yeah.
Man, I got Greek and Hebrew, but I'm telling you, man, them words don't mean nothing when Satan come on me with both barrels. I've quoted scriptures all night, ain't nothing moved. I said, Lord, did you hear what I just said, God? And all at once I think about some old preacher that I met. When he told me what had happened, and I said, God, I'm just happy all over again. Then he said, be strong, son, and of a good courage. For unto his people shalt thou divide for inheritance the land which I swore unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou may observe. What's that? The word observe. That is observe. To do according to all the law which Moses. He keeps saying Moses. He keeps saying Moses. My son. Well, now listen. Why you keep reminding me of a man that's dead?
Come on.
Why you keep taking me back to a dead man? If God is talking, why you got to tell me about Moses? Hear me good. If God is speaking, why are you telling me about Moses?
Come on.
Because you don't know him.
All right.
You don't know the God that's talking.
All right.
You know Moses, but not God. That's what he's telling him. Joshua, you know Moses, but you don't know me.
Come on.
And the strength of your relationship with me is with Moses.
Man, go ahead. That's good.
That's why I keep telling him about Moses. And he said, let me show you something so unique about this. If you go back up to the verse, let me take you back to the verse. Can I take it back to the divorce? Because some of us got divorced. And let's get back remarried. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke unto Joshua, the son of who? Who did he speak to? Can y'all read? Can y'all read it further? Well, let me tell you, don't move your feet, move your foot. Moses who? What the word minister mean? His servant. Who have you served?
Come on here.
If you ain't served nobody, you ain't got nobody name to remember. He only telling Joshua. The reason I keep telling Moses because you serve Moses. If you serve somebody, you see stuff. Ask Elijah. Elijah saw Elijah. Who have you served to see anything? If you're looking to be served, you better serve first. Here's the text here. Here's the crucial, critical part of the text. Who have you served?
Yeah.
I never read where Joshua rose up against Moses. But we rise up against our leaders every day. You know, people think I'm upset because I preach like this. You know what your problem is? You see spots, I see the big picture.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it like this. You caught on ignorant, and I'm caught on blessings.
All right.
I'm trying to bless us. And you think I'm upset about something.
Yeah.
We in a season where God getting ready to do something.
Come on.
And everybody want things to stay the same. Just come to church and be comfortable and say, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. No, we're trying to reconnect you to something.
That's right.
Because when God gets ready to move, you're going to need some references to hold on to it.
That's right.
Moses, Joshua, Moses' minister, his servant,
Yes.
who served Moses.
All right.
When Moses needed him, he was there.
Come on.
When Moses called him, he was there.
Yeah.
You can't serve nobody you don't honor.
That's good.
You can't serve nobody you with disrespect. How you going to serve somebody you don't care for?
That's right.
You won't watch them.
That's right.
You won't watch them. Watch this. If you don't like a child, you won't watch a child. But if you like a child, you watch a child. How many of y'all got kids or grandkids? And they come in and you got them. And you could be watching what's going on up here. But I tell you where your other eye is. Because y'all don't hear me up in here. See, when you're a server, you got one eye on the master. Come on, talk to me here. And one eye on the prize, baby. Look, I got one eye on the master, one eye on the prize. Come on. You got to have both eyes working at the same time. Don't let one eye pull you away from the right eye. Because your right eye ought to be on the serving eye. Your left eye ought to be on the blessed eye. But sometimes we twist them eyes up.
That'll preach right there.
We want the blessing and despise the birthright. See, your birthright ain't your blessing. Your birthright is who God put you under.
That's right. That's getting you right.
I say your birthright is who you're under. Because your father will give you inheritance at the right time.
Come on.
I don't want to go there. That's good preaching, so you can do what you want with it, but I promise you, he tells us something here tonight that is so profound. He says, I will not fail you nor forsake you. The word abandon you. God said, I will never abandon you. I never abandoned Moses.
That's right.
Even when Moses did wrong, I didn't abandon him. Even when the children of Israel went crazy, I didn't abandon them.
That's right.
I couldn't abandon them because I had others in mind. Listen to me good. God is not fighting for you. Y'all don't get it. You'll get me tomorrow. God ain't fighting for you. God fighting anybody that messed with you because of Abraham.
Come on.
See, God's word go way back further than you and I.
Yeah.
We got brought in this, but God's word was to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
So anybody that mess with you, mess with them. God said, I will never fail my people.
Come on here.
Now you might fail them, but I won't fail them. I got a message I'm working on, but I can't title it. But the name of the title, Go Get That Harlot. Go get that harlot.
Go get him.
In other words, go get my wife.
Go to that preach.
With her nasty self, go get her.
Come on.
He said, be strong and good courage. For unto this people, I'm going to give them what I said. I promised them. I'm going to divide their land for inheritance. They ain't had no inheritance.
That's right.
They were slaves.
That's right.
But the inheritance came where? From who? Abraham.
Yeah.
They had nothing.
That's right.
They had rebelled against God. They was in slavery for 400 years.
Yeah.
But God had promised Abraham, regardless of where they at,
So, there you go.
I go get them.
There you go.
They my people.
Yeah.
And I already got land for them. Now I'm finna send you to go get them. So you better be watching, be careful how you handle them, because they my people, whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
It's amazing all of us in slavery and bondage and look at each other like we're crazy. That's why we couldn't beat Pharaoh. You know why we couldn't whoop Pharaoh? Same way we can't whoop him today. Too divided. Because all they had to do was come together. They say 1 million people came out of Egypt, right? They could have whooped Pharaoh when they got ready. But they was too divided to whoop him. Aristotle made a quote. He said that the whole is greater than the sum total of its parts. In other words, we got strength as individuals. But if we can get together, if we can just bring it together, just bring it together. See, the devil knows our weakness. The devil knows our weakness. Come on, talk to me. Jesus said, a house divided, it can't stand. The devil knows your weakness. He said, if I can keep them divided, come on, I'll keep them down. But if I can just get them to lock arms together, shoulder to shoulder, stand at attention and remember what God promised them. Look at somebody say, we better together. And Al Green seal it, let's stay together. And he says, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper. Somebody say prosper. Whatsoever thou go with. Now this word prosper in the Hebrew has a little different meaning, and it means things that you gather. But this word actually means to push forward. You can be in the same spot with the same stuff for 10 years. Don't mean you're prospering. You're just managing well. I would hate to be a good manager in the same place for 10 years. Because if I'm that good of a manager, let me push forward. Because that's more for me. You say, well, God, I'm doing good. God said, you're doing good, but you ain't doing your best. Because I got more for you, and you're a good manager and not enough. Just enough. But if you want more than enough, you got to push forward. Come on. Somebody say, I got to push forward. Come on, put the good foot out. That'd been having my message with you. I'm on the good foot. Then he said, may it prosper whithersoever thou goest. See, as you go, prosper. I promise we happy where we at. We happy with our last testimony. Change. Don't just keep the same testimony. Every once in a while, have a new one. In other words, you moved the foot. Now I got a new testimony. But we still talking about the same thing we talked about 20 years ago. Yeah. Then he said, this book of the law should not depart out of the mouth. Now, hold up. This book of the law should not depart out of thy mouth. Hold up. That sounds like responsibility. I ain't going to get into it because it's a lot. But thou shalt meditate therein. Therein. In what? The book of the law. When? Day and. Not Day and night, not day or night. That's two different things, isn't it? See, day or night mean you pick one. Day and night mean both. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, meditate in the book. If you're up in the day, meditate in the book. Somebody say, I couldn't sleep last night. Did you get in the book? Meditate day and night. That thou may observe to do. Don't just look to talk. Look to do. He said, observe to do according to. Somebody say all. Now that word observe means to watch, to keep, to preserve, to guard, to be careful, to watch carefully over, to be on one's guard. So when you observe and you carefully look at that stuff, and you also being on guard because you don't know what's coming. In other words, it says day and night, be on guard. Stay in the book so you can be on guard all the time. Because if you're not in it, how you know how to watch? You would know what to watch for. The book tells you what to watch for. Yeah. It tells you when trouble coming. Yeah. It tells you when things are not right. But if you're not in the book day and night, then you might let something up on you that you shouldn't have never let close to you.
Come on, come on.
Sometimes you ever best watch people and get around people, they don't have no word in them, and you be looking and say, oh, Lord, they don't know who they with? I ain't going to get no amen there, cause, you know, that might throw some guilt according to all of us. According to all that is written, therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous. When you going to make your way prosperous? When you say hallelujah? No, that ain't what he said. When you get in the book day and night. You ain't going to get prosperous because you say you want to be prosperous. You're not going to get prosperous because you put $20 on the altar. You put all the 20s you want up here. But if you don't get in the book, that's just $20 for me. Then thou shalt make thy way prosperous. And then thou shalt have what? Now, I didn't go to school for 12 years.
Okay.
I really had. I didn't.
Okay.
I sort of, didn't care for school as much. But now I got to go. It's bad when you got to be a student when you get 67. Mm-hmm. But why is good success when the word success alone means something? How come it just couldn't be success? Some people got a lot of stuff, but it ain't good.
All right.
See, be careful with the stuff you got. Don't mean it's good success. Because it might be the very thing keeping you out of church or keeping you from listening to somebody else. See, all success is not good success.
That's right.
I would hate to have $1 million and on my children on drugs.
All right.
Come on, talk to me up in here. See, we can have all of this stuff, but nobody likes you. That's not good success. He said have good success. Yeah. That means that a good name is better to be desired than all the riches in the world. Yeah. We'd rather riches than a good name. Yeah. I would rather somebody say something about my name than all the stuff I got. Because when the stuff run out, I got a name to get some more. Sometimes we don't have a good name. Yeah. Work on your name. And let God work on your stuff. You'll be surprised. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. So your life stability is based on our ability to be strong and of a good courage. Now, that word courage here means to be determined, bold, or persistent. Be strong, but be determined. Be strong, but be bold. Be strong, but be persistent. In other words, don't just be strong and not persistent. Some people are strong, but they stand in one spot. Persistence means I'm moving. Yeah. I'm pushing against things. Yeah. If you're going to persist, that means you're going to have opposition. Yeah. Yeah. Most of us don't like oppositions. I was telling Alvin yesterday, iron sharpening iron. Yeah. And the reason why you're frustrated because you're being sharpened and don't like it. If you're rubbing against wood, you ain't got no problem. But 2 pieces of iron going to create fire. Yeah. You can't run into me and not be sharp.
That's right. That's right.
Talk to me up in here. Right. You can't run into me and not be sharp. Because if you run into me, I'm going to sharpen you. Right. I'm going to create fiction in your life. Yeah. I'm not here to make you say the same. I'm here to get your dull edges off of you. Because the Bible says when the axe is blunt, it takes more strength. Yeah. But when you wet the edge, when you wet it and you sharpen it, you don't have to hit as hard. Some of us overworking because our edge is dull. Sharpen your edge. But you're not going to sharpen it running away from people. You sharpen it by finding some iron and running into it. You say, baby, I ain't going nowhere. Talk what you want, but let's rub together.
All right.
I'm going to use you as a flint. And I'm going to sharpen myself. Sometimes you ought to sharpen yourself with sharp people.
Yeah, yeah.
Run around with dull people and act like y'all, and see why y'all both so frustrated. See, dull people start talking about people. Dull people complain all the time. You ain't never heard a sharp knife complain. You never seen you know what a sharp knife will do to you? If you're used to using a dull one, it'll cut you every time. If you think I'm joking, go home tonight, take your knife, sharpen them up as sharp as you can get it, and start cutting. I guarantee you'll cut your hand for the night over. Let me tell you why. You used to using a dull knife. So you start putting all that pressure, but that sharp knife, it go right through it, and before you know it, you'll cut your hand. Now you're bleeding and about to go to the hospital. Won't you sharpen yourself? Get around people that can sharpen you. Quit being around people that's making you stay the same in life. Tell somebody I want good success. I want to be strong, me. I'm determined. How many of y'all determined? How many of y'all determined? That this ain't always be like that. How many of y'all bold enough to look the devil in the eye and say, not today? How many of y'all persistent enough to stay at it like the bulldog? I'm going to stay at it until I see what I'm looking for. That woman was persistent with Jesus, with that man. She said, Judge, regardless what you think of me, I know what I think of you. You know what our problem is? We get mad because we don't like what the judge think of us. But the judge didn't have the problem. You do. She didn't care what the judge thought. She knew what he could do. Sometimes know what people can do and don't worry about what they do. Just be persistent till you get what you come for. I don't care. It may rub you the wrong way, but if they got what you want, be like Elijah. Every time he try to shake you, say, not today. I'm coming on with you. I've been with you too long now. See, Elijah had to go through stuff. And when he went through, somebody else's ministry. I say he went through somebody else's ministry before he got his.
That's right.
We didn't go through people, maybe we sit down in them. Ask yourself, what have you done in the ministry that reveals that you really deserve to be in charge of a ministry? No, it's a question. It ain't no, okay, what did you do? I ain't picking at you when I say that. What did you do to deserve to be in charge of a ministry? Who have you served long enough to say I can lead people?
Come on.
Well, Pastor, I studied. We all studied. I know most smart biblical people and can't lead themselves from the bathroom. But what have you done? How many attacks you had since you've been serving? We mad because we getting attacked serving. What you gonna do leading then? He ain't nothing but a flunky for pastor. Look at it. And you done got upset. What you gonna do when you lead then? Baby, let me tell you something. They told Elijah, they gonna take your master from you today. He said, shut up. I don't need you to tell me about the one I'm serving. I've been with him too long. You don't need to come tell me nothing about him. I know why I'm with him. Y'all want to be prophets. I don't want to be a prophet. What I want from him is ain't what y'all looking for. Y'all looking for what's in his hand. I'm looking for what's in the spirit. And the prophet said, what do you want, boy? You don't see me do all this. Why you keep hanging with me, persistent? He said, look here, Papa. I want a double portion of your spirit. Know what he tells him? He said, you asked a hard question. He said, do you know you asking for? He said, you're asking for a covenant relationship that would demand every ounce of you and your attention. Your focus have to be on me to get what you asked for. Your ears have to be tuned into what I'm saying to get what you're asking for. Come on. You cannot get what you want from a person listening to everybody around you.
That's right.
About the person that you're following.
That's
Because your spirit would get contaminated.
That's right. That's right.
Every time.
That's right.
Even to the slight words that people say. I call them slick words.
Slick.
You know the look.
Uh-huh. Daddy, right there. Right there.
That's the look. That's the look. That's the look. That's how they look when they ain't connected to you.
Daddy, that's that caught up look.
Ask them a question about what you say, they don't know nothing.
Don't know, man.
That's their look. Remember, that's the look. I'm telling you, I've been in ministry long enough. Observe the look. Look, hit it. Watch this. Remember what I said. Now observe the look. Observe it, because you're going to run into it in many days. All in the name of, I'm with y'all. I didn't mean to do that. Y'all excuse me. I did it, but it worked. Y'all blame Weeds for it. And he said, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. In other words, don't get tripped out about things so easy. For the Lord thy God is what? With thee, whitherso thou goest. And look at verse 13. Remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord God has given you rest and has given you this land. Deuteronomy 31. Now this God telling him all this, right? Let me show you something that was interesting to me. Deuteronomy 31. Now, the Lord is telling them this, right? But watch Deuteronomy. Verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, Joshua, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he is that goeth with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Guess who's talking to Joshua? And Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, what did he tell him? Listen what Joshua, remember what Moses told him. God is repeating to Joshua what Moses has already told him. That's what I love about God. When God put you in charge, he remind you even what those that was in charge before you said.
Yeah.
Somebody said, check your temperature. And he said, he ain't going to fail you or forsake thee. And Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, he said, be strong and of a good courage, for thou must go with this people unto a land which the Lord has sworn unto their who? Fathers. Had nothing to do with them. They was just being blessed as a result of who they was connected to.
That's right.
We are being blessed because we connected to Abraham's faith.
Yeah.
We're not getting blessed for no other reason. You connected to Abraham's faith. That's why you're being blessed.
Yeah.
And the Bible says God swore he was going to give them this inheritance.
Yeah.
They said unto him in the sight of all Israel, then he sworn unto the fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And the Lord, he it is that do go before thee. Listen what he's saying.
Yeah.
Moses is telling Joshua, you're not going by yourself. I won't be going with you either. But my word will. And the same word he gave me will go with us.
Yeah.
But he will go too.
Yeah.
God ain't just sending his word, he's coming himself. But you need his word for him to come. Because if you leave without his word, he ain't coming. And the Lord, he is that do go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. Look at verse 23. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge and said, be strong. There it is again. And of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore unto them, and I will be what? With thee. So he's telling them to be strong. And you know our final statement going to come out of Ephesians 6. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Strengthen yourself. Paul telling Timothy, be strong in the Lord. And what he's telling all the church of Ephesus, listen, if you remember what I told you, if you keep in mind what I spoke to you, and you remember the things God did through me, that's where your stability starts at. Don't start at a deficiency trying to kick everybody else out. If you want to be strong, keep those that God has used in there as a remembrance and observance, and you don't have to start with a deficiency. That's right. Then study your way through it. And let God teach you as he promotes you through the day. And I pray that this message has been a blessing to you, as that blessed me. Let's give God a hand praise. Amen.